wanted to talk about dreams and the fact that I'm sure we've all had some crazy dreams, scary, amazing, wonderful, awesome dreams. And before I get too much further, I wanted to do a shout out to a blood sister of ours, Angela Haven. If you're not subscribed to her, I suggest you subscribe. Awesome, wonderful, amazing sister of ours. Much worship, appreciation, dear sister, dear blood. I discussed with her a little bit before I was going to post this, and kind of ran it by her, and, was trying to see how she thought of it. And she had some of her own input and her own dreams. So, shouts out, Angela. Have you ever had a dream that was more than real? It was not lacking any detail, any thought, any heart, any feeling. And it was like a previous life, if not a previous life that you've had. I've had two major dreams where I was not in this body, but I knew it was me and my spirit, my heart, my consciousness. One of them, I was on the run, and there wasn't much time to stop and do much else. The other dream, there was time to stop and look in a mirror. The mirror I wanted to see what I looked like. Instead of just looking down and seeing everything else, I wanted to go to the mirror and see, like, I made it a point, and I didn't have much time, and it wasn't the most available thing to do, but I was able to get into a bathroom and look at this pretty big mirror. And as I looked in the mirror, I locked eyes with myself, and I couldn't look away. Like, if I were to look in the mirror, look away, and look back in the mirror, it didn't matter. I would just, look directly at my eyes, and they were my eyes. I knew that my face was a little different. In the mirror, when I got to see, I was white, blonde hair, in really good physical shape, not quite as tall as I am now. I was maybe just a little bit shorter, like a couple inches shorter, and I just knew these things. I was very serious, and I was older. I had these dreams years ago, maybe not 10 years ago, but a good maybe 5, 6 to 7, maybe 8 years ago, tops, maybe 7 years ago, tops. I'm 35 now, and I wanted to say in this dream I was probably like 36, getting close to 40, and very well sharpened, could I say. It was as if I was ex-military, special forces trained. What I was head of security and like a bodyguard for a VIP, a guy who was like president and owner of his company, and he had a bank and a hotel. And I was at the hotel with the bank downstairs, so I was protecting him, kind of like the hotel with the bank down the bottom, even though that was locked up and whatnot. But I was, it was closed. It was after hours. He was getting ready to go out, and me and my crew, my security crew, who were like fully freaking SWAT teamed out, MP5s, Berettas, we weren't messing around, basically. And I remember that my boss was like, we weren't really worried about anything except for his brother. His brother was like a rock and roll famous singer kind of a person who loved to party. He always wanted to try to get into the hotel and party it up. And probably was let in a good couple of times and whatnot, but I was definitely not going to let him in, and that was one of the concerns, one of the main concerns. Up top floor in his suite, his woman, his girl, she was there getting ready and was like, she was going to go after he left. He was going to leave and go do a couple things, and she was going to leave afterwards. So I wanted to get into, instead of opening or getting to any of the hotel rooms or really make it any too suspicious, I made it a point upon leaving out, walking out of his suite, I made sure to leave my jacket so I could go back in the room to get my jacket, but look in the mirror real quick. So he's getting ready to go, and he asked me all final checks, and everything's all set. I said, yeah, I just got to, everybody's in place, everybody's all set. We're, about to lock it down and just go on shift or whatnot. I left my jacket in your room. He said, that's fine, go back and grab it, and just lock up. Make sure you lock up and watch out for his brother. I said, not a problem. So he left. I went back to the room, grabbed my jacket. She was there, so I couldn't just take 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, or really even just like 5 minutes. Maybe 5 minutes, but I couldn't take a whole lot of time messing around, or else I knew that it would have been kind of obvious. I was kind of breaking out of the normal, ordeal there. So I went to the bathroom, and that's when I was able to see. And it's like I didn't need to look at any part of me, any detail. It was already there in my mind, and I just knew. I didn't have to ask myself those questions, or answer those questions. They were already, you knew. The other dream I had, where I was on the run, the one thing I wanted to talk about is I think in your dreams, sometimes it's just, beyond so real and able to come out of character or come out of that. It's like you're reliving inside of yourself, and you're there in the captain's seat, and you're like, when I was on the run, there was I wasn't going to stop running and trying to get away. And you can ask yourself these little questions, but you're not going to stop performing the actions or going through, it's almost as if you're in these certain dreams, and you hop back into a previous life and you re-experience it. That's the reason you can't stop the show and just do what you want and take over the dream. It's a different kind of dream. In this other dream, when I was on the run, I was black, and I, didn't think twice of it, or didn't think any different of it until I really woke up and I was really just taking in the details and thinking about the dream. How many times we had a dream that we forget pretty much the entire dream, and we're just like, wow, I wish I could remember that. Like these dreams I will never forget. I will never forget them. I was a little bit bigger, taller. I didn't have anywhere to see my reflection or see anything besides looking down, looking at my hands, my arms, my legs, and I just really spent the time just ducking down and hiding, trying to get away. And it's almost as if I was like a slave on the run, and I was trying to get away from basically, like at the time, the authorities and possibly my owner. I don't know if it was, I didn't feel like my owners or master was after me, but it was like, the authorities were after me. And I knew I didn't do anything wrong. It was just a wrong time or something that happened to me, which was just crazy. Either way, the last thing I wanted to say was, one of the other dreams I had where it was like different times and places were going on, but I was the same age, and it was me. But I had this dream off and on all week. And when I went to bed, I started dreaming. I was back in the dream where I left off. At least 3, almost 4 nights. Not in a row. A couple nights in a row. Then I didn't sleep too good. Then Friday I got some good sleep. And I went back and kind of ended the dream. Which I thought was pretty crazy. And it was when I was young. I thought it was pretty crazy. But I'll have to talk about that later sometime. Thank you, everybody, and I'll probably have to redo this video, but peace out. No, wholeness out.